What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Monday to you. Welcome to another episode of CarBiz Leaders Live featuring the principal's office. Very special guest today, Rodger Lovering. The Lovering Auto Group has 3 dealerships in our favorite town of Concord, New Hampshire. We love New Hampshire. They've been great to us. Rodger happens to be a classic car buff, so can't wait to talk cars, the car business, and get this party started. So without further ado, here is our show. Okay, guys, let's welcome Rodger. Hi, Rodger. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
So excited to have you. Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Having a Monday, of course. Thank you so much for your precious time today. If you wouldn't mind just telling our audience a little bit about your experience in the car business and about your family's dealership.
Okay, I'll be happy to. Well, about 30 years ago, I used to work for a weapons specialist. I was a weapons specialist for Textron Defense Systems, and my brother and I ended up. I went to work for him, and we bought out Volvo of Concord. Mm-hmm. Then migrated and got Volvo of Nashua, and then we got Volvo of Meredith. So we have 3 Volvo stores straight up the center of the state of New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. And well, now 30 years later, I'm semi-retired. I'm buying cars at the auction, 50 or 60 a month, and I build all of the incoming cars for all 3 stores.
Okay.
So it keeps me pretty busy, but I'm able to work from home. That's why I'm here in my home garage.
Yeah.
Working on my 69 Mach 1.
Can you give everybody, we were looking at this before the show started, but if you wouldn't mind giving everybody a little mini tour.
Oh, sure.
That, because we love classic cars here at Royalty. So let's just ooh and ah.
Well, I'll give a little bit more of a show than I gave.
Okay, good.
But over here on this wall, if you see, these are all pictures from our family since 1914 to present, and some of the cars we've owned and some of the places we've lived around the world. My dad's retired Air Force.
Okay, that's awesome.
And then over there, that's my 66 F100.
Beautiful.
There's a 73 Ranchero. There's the 64 Galaxy convertible. And on the lift is my 69 Mach 1. I'm currently doing front brakes on that.
Yeah, that Mach 1. Really, really beautiful.
A couple of others, too. I got a 52 Ford pickup, a 64 Falcon Futura convertible, and a 65 Econoline pickup. So I have a few. And they're fun.
I'm a Barracuda girl, but oh, yeah.
You guys just delivered a 67 Barracuda from us that I bought in North Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we love it.
Right now to put on the lot for sale.
Good. Well, I hope those sell really good, actually.
Yeah,
people still want to buy them. They're very collectible.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to be like Jay Leno. So, listen, you do a lot of buying. I want to hear 50, 60 cars a week. Tell me a little bit about like your strategy about buying that many cars.
Well, Volvo's a little bit of a unique manufacturer. They have a certified pre-owned program that they bonus on if you hit your numbers. And based on your area of responsibility, they give you an objective to hit and buy to hit these numbers, and then you get bonuses per car. We have 3 stores, so but we're in New Hampshire, so it's a small state, so our objective is relatively low. But we actually buy and sell about 500% of our objective every month.
Okay.
So we do very well with that. We're probably one of the largest concentration of Volvo sales in the country
Yeah.
from Concord north in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Volvo is a very interesting brand. They had like the biggest safety rating for like the longest time running. I
Yes.
think right before, did Subaru take it over or something like that? I'm not sure, but they're very safe cars on the road.
Oh yeah, they're
That's
very safe. They've
fun.
got some of the safest production cars ever built, with
Mhm.
lowest fatalities. They're actually the 240 Volvo went a couple of years with no fatalities in the world,
Oh my God, that's
and that's
awesome.
heard of for any manufacturer. Volvo made a commitment by 2020 there'll be no serious injury in a Volvo,
Mhm.
never mind a fatality.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited for that. Now, when you are buying, what kind of what do you think gives you the edge? What are you looking for in a car?
Well, I've been pretty focused on color, trim, and equipment.
Okay.
So I'm willing to spend a little bit extra money for the right color combinations and the right equipment levels because,
Mhm.
and low mileage and good history and all that,
Right.
because it really does make a difference. We notice when Volvo was allocating cars, they typically allocate black on black and white on black are their two first top colors because the white is a metallic and the black is a non.
Mhm.
So unless you take time to go in there and reconfigure your cards and change the colors to the most desirable,
Yeah.
it automatically inflates the sell rate of the white and the black. So
Right.
I started a few years ago. I started changing the colors to blues and blonde interiors and ambers and stuff like that, and our
Mhm.
numbers went through the roof. 70%
Really?
of our cars are actually denim blue and white, or white with white and amber interior.
Okay.
So in the manufacturer, it's funny. The manufacturer's calling me up and say, "Well, your numbers are selling a lot lower than that in those trims." So I said, "No, check it again." We
Yeah.
went 73% of our cars were non-graphite interior cars,
Really?
only because we started building them like that.
Yeah.
If that's all that's available for the retailer to sell, that's all they're going to sell,
Right.
right? So if they don't change them from the graphite interior, that's all they're going to sell. But they'll find that if they start experimenting with different interiors and different exterior colors,
Mhm.
their numbers are going to go up, and they're going to be the only ones around that have that color combination available.
That's so interesting because I'm in this group that they always say focus on black, white, and silver. And
Right.
so you kind of take this opposite approach that
Right.
because you now and you sell all over the country too, right?
Yeah.
Not just in your market.
That's correct. It's gone down a little bit now because the used car market has gone up. But
Mhm.
when COVID first hit, all the manufacturers turned all the rental car companies turned all their cars into the manufacturers and
Mhm.
to the auction. Nobody was buying them, and the prices went down by $10,000 or $15,000 per car for current model year and 1 year old cars. Well,
Mhm.
we ended up buying 542 the first month, and that's a lot of used cars at
Yeah, it is.
45 grand a piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and then we started selling them across the country because nobody had them, and if they did, they weren't for the same price.
Right.
So we were very good at that.
I think that is, there's lots of different strategies that people have in the car business. And I think that that's kind of one of my life philosophies is to go against the crowd, right?
Yeah.
So if everybody's going this way, you could go that way. You offer something unique and special. Um, we do that here as well, and we try to find unique ways to kind of help our customers just get a different experience from what they're typically looking for.
Yep.
Rodger, tell me about this is a family business, your brother and your father, you've had it for 30 years. Tell me some of the challenges you guys have faced over the years.
Well, it, when we first bought the dealership in Concord,
Mhm.
Isuzu was another franchise with us, and
Mhm.
did really, really well with Isuzu. That's a great product. Then
Mhm.
General Motors got involved and literally destroyed the company.
Right.
So they moved out of the U.S. And then we picked up Mitsubishi, and Mitsubishi didn't do what we wanted them to do. We weren't in line with the way they like to do business, so we gave
Right.
them up. So now we're strictly in Volvo, because Volvo is, once you start working or selling a product that you really stand behind and they stand
Yeah.
behind the product, you find it hard to go to somebody that's lesser, that does a
Right.
lesser job. So our biggest challenge is trying to branch out into different franchises, different manufacturers, because
Yeah.
Volvo does do a good job with their dealers and their products. So,
Right.
and that's our biggest challenge. I mean, other than that, it's just work hard and treat people the way you would expect to be treated when you go into a dealership.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're going to be fine. If you try to shortcut and do things improperly, it's going to catch up to you.
I love how you said that. I was just thinking about this morning. It just takes as much energy to do it the right way as it does to the wrong way.
Exactly.
Just the same amount of energy, so might as well just do it the right way. It's the same amount of energy and everybody lives happily ever after. I love
Exactly.
that philosophy. Now, is there anything special that you guys like besides like just treating people the way you want to do? Is there anything that you think separates you from your competition in terms of your customer service?
Um, that's hard to say. I've never worked at another dealership. Like I said,
Yeah.
I went directly from blowing up bombs to something. So, uh, it was a little bit different for me. My
Yeah.
brother worked for his father-in-law first, so he'd probably be better at that. But obviously, he's not here.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll give him a free pass.
But we just try to treat everybody with respect and
Yeah.
listen to the complaints and try to handle them the best we can.
Yeah.
If there are complaints. So
Wonderful. Tell me about just a way that you guys go about tackling and solving a problem. Like, do you guys have a strategy behind that? Is there, like, how do you guys get together and solve a problem when those things are?
actually, it's funny you bring that up because a couple of service managers that we've had over the years, they always get defensive when a customer comes in and starts complaining about something. Well, it wasn't our fault. No, we didn't do that. No. You don't need to do that. Just sit down, listen to them, let them say their piece, nod. Yes, I understand. Yes, I understand. When they get done, all you have to do, it's this simple. Rachel, I understand your problems and I agree you have an issue. Will you let me help you with that?
Right.
And what do you say?
Of course. Please help
Okay,
me.
so this is what I can do and this is what I can't do. So then you proceed. And it's really that simple. And a lot of people don't get it. Just tell them, I will help you. Will you let me help you? Instead, they say, well, it wasn't my fault because this. No, forget that.
Yeah.
This is what I can do. It may not be 100% solving the problem, but they're not necessarily looking for that. They want show some compassion, show some effort that you're willing to try to help them. That's all they need.
Yeah. And I love it how sometimes when you come from a place of wanting to help somebody, then you really can get those creative juices flowing too. Like you go into problem solving mode, and sometimes like you can come up with some really genius solutions, and people are ecstatic. I love it when that kind of stuff happens. It's like bring on the problem. Let's try to see if we can make something work. Yeah, that's like the highlight of my job is when it all works out.
It's funny you say that because 2 weeks ago, I had a guy that wanted to trade in a 1931 Model A on a new Volvo. And guess what? We took it in trade.
Good.
So
Great
it's
car.
simple. You just got to be creative.
I love that. I love that. Now listen, tell me about some of your biggest success. I want to hear some wins. Give me a good win.
We've always had we've been very fortunate. We've always been on a road up instead of a road down. I mean, we've always increased business and increased sales. And my brother and I started. My dad was a retired Air Force, so he didn't start the company with us. It was Richard and I.
Yeah.
And then now, 30 years later, now his kids are starting to take over. His daughter, his youngest daughter, is the CEO. Her husband is the CFO, and his oldest boy is running the back and used cars and service and parts.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to migrate into that, And they have the same attitude of running a business that we do. So and that's important.
Yeah. And everybody gets along. And by the way, that's awesome that she's taken over because, I think more and more women are stepping into that role and they haven't really been given the level of respect that as if a son was stepping in. And I just think that that's so fantastic that she's doing that. And because we bring a different perspective to a business, right? Care, compassion. It's not always we're I feel like you get a more holistic sense of the business when just the way that our we were raised, I guess.
Yeah.
Um,
The interesting thing I think is her and her husband,
yeah,
CEO and CFO, because both people have a little bit different look at the business,
right.
and they're going to share it and expand on it. So instead of just one angle, you got both of them.
I love that. I love that so much.
Well, that's like
I
my brother and I. My brother is the principal, and I'm
Yeah,
the co-owner. But him and I always talk about everything. 30 years together, we've never had an argument.
that's
Pretty
awesome.
impressive because
It's
if
really
you
impressive.
look at car dealers in history, the brothers usually separate after a while.
Yeah, yeah. So that's important. What do you think contributes to that? What do you think it is? Just
It's our
talking it out, respect.
no, it's our family and the way we were raised, and um, we my all three of us kids now. My sister moved to Maine to be with my brother and I. My
Yeah,
cousin moved over to be with our family, and
yeah,
now I have another niece or cousin actually that she's moving up from Texas because we just get along. We talk all the time. We have barbecues together. We're a very tight family. I talk to my brother and sister almost every day, and my dad. My dad's 88 years old, and we still go down and hang out with him every day, every week.
I love that. I try to talk to my family a lot too. I feel like, um, what are we doing this for, right? What are we? Why do we put ourselves through like, the stress of a business? It's not easy, but I think when you have people that you love and care about, that have your back, really, I mean, it's so important. It's
Yeah.
so important. Now, I want to talk about, you know, you were talking about you're very close knit, but what do you think? You said something about the way that you guys were raised. I want you to go back and say, just find a pivotal thing about, tell me about a little bit more about that.
Well, our family is native New Hampshire. We've been here for hundreds of years, like
Hmm.
1651 to be exact.
That's so
And,
cool.
yeah, and my mom and dad were both farm kids.
Hmm.
My mother's family lived in Deerfield, and she was born in the same house her father was born in. And
Hmm.
um, Sunday dinners, everybody came to the house for dinner. That was the deal. That's just the way it was. You were
Right.
expected to be there. And then, of course, my dad, when he dropped out of high school, joined the Air Force, hitched
Hmm.
from back from South Dakota to propose to my mother. They got married. He went back to South Dakota. She finished high school and met him out there. And it's it's a very special family. I mean, it's very special when your family's that tight and that dedicated to each other. I mean, my dad's alone now. I mean, my mother left 8 years ago,
Yeah.
but all of us. I mean, all of us. Our whole family is really tight like that, and it's kind of unique. It's you don't see a lot of it, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
Uh, back in the day, if it was different life. Different world. I'd like to see
Yeah.
it back.
Me too. Me too. That's what I think we're all trying to, you know, focus on here is like there was a time in my career where I gave everything to my company and I neglected my family.
Yep.
And when I started my own business, it's taken me longer to get to the level of success that I wanted to, but I didn't want to come at the price of my family anymore.
Yep.
So,
Well, here's an example. My daughter's in Illinois, right? She's 25. Once a month, we FaceTime with my sister, myself, and her, and we
mhm.
cook
Cooking.
cook a meal. Yep.
Oh, what on the FaceTime?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's actually a lot of fun.
Do you
My
guys like share the
my
recipe?
daughter.
Like everybody makes the same thing?
Oh yeah, we send the menus out, and this is what we're gonna make, and get all your ingredients, and let's go.
Oh, I love that. That's a cool thing to do.
Really is. Well,
Really cool.
there's another story. My daughter was 8 years old when she moved in with me.
Yeah.
Her mother and I were never married, but
Yeah.
she moved with me with 8 and stayed with me the rest of her life. Well, so far, so the rest of my life. And but we've been pretty close, and food has been a unique thing for us because her mother didn't make her eat well, and
Yeah.
I don't do mac and cheese in a box and all that stuff. It got so bad. So last night, my daughter went to a restaurant. She took a picture of the menu and texted it to me. 20 minutes later, I text her back and said, "Well, if I was ordering for you, this is what I'd order."
Yeah.
Guess what? She ordered? Exactly what I suggested. Like, oh, no way. But it's closeness like that really matters. It really
Yeah,
the whole
I
picture.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And look at the success that you guys have had from it.
Yeah.
I think that speaks volume to that. Okay, now we're gonna go to the fun round. Okay,
Okay.
this is the rapid fire round. It's very exciting. We ask very fun questions. Okay, obviously, I know you have a lot of classic cars. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is your dream classic car? Favorite dream classic car? If you could have any,
Probably a 69 or a 69 or 70 Shelby GT 350 convertible.
Very nice.
Pretty
Very fast too.
Yeah, very nice car. I didn't want to get the GT 500. It's too nose heavy. They don't drive as good as the GT 350.
Really? I didn't know that.
A big 428 in the front end of that car.
Learn something new every day. That was my favorite car when I was dating a guy that had one.
Well, that's why. Because it's a good car. Same car, but
yeah. Yeah. Are you a Pepsi or Coke guy?
I don't drink soda at all.
Oh,
Water and whiskey. I'm a brown liquor person. Scotch,
water.
bourbon, whiskey, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Some coffee.
If you could travel anywhere, where would you go?
Oh, geez. I've been a lot of places. We lived in Japan. We lived in Hawaii. I've been all over Europe. If I had someplace else to go, well, it'd probably be Australia, but that's changing quite a bit too.
I know they've had a lot of fires down there for sure.
Well, there's so many places to see in the U.S. There's really no reason to leave.
I haven't left the country since my son was born.
I've been in every state.
I haven't been in every one. I still got to go to Louisiana. I got to do my Mardi Gras experience. I haven't been there yet.
It's fun. That is fun. We went down there 1999 going into 2K. Remember when they clicked over to 2K, the computers were all supposed to crash and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Obviously it didn't, but we went. That's the first time I ate at Nola's, which is Emerald Lagasse's restaurant down there in New Orleans.
I love me some Emerald. Bam! So funny that you bring up the 1999 thing. So my dad was in tech, and his company was responsible for changing over everything to make sure that the world didn't end in 2000 because we didn't have the numbers. What's going to happen? It's going to start over. But, they spent a lot of money. And my dad was a millionaire on paper during that time. Not anymore. Should have sold your stock stand. But yeah, it was a good time. So it's so funny that you bring that up. You brought up a lot of great things. Okay, another question. If you had to go back in time to change one thing, what would you change?
I don't know. I don't think I would change anything. I'm pretty happy where I am right now and where I've been to get there.
Yeah. Everything is like a little learning experience, right? That brought you to this point.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people think like that. I like that, Rodger. I really, there's a lot of things that I was like, oh, should I have done that? But would I be who I am today?
Exactly. I mean, there's a couple of girls I went out to I should have pursued and stuff like that, but I'm still okay right where I am. So.
Okay. Now, if you so you were talking about recipes. I would like to know, what is your favorite food?
Oh gosh, favorite food. I don't think there's such a thing, is there?
I know.
Chicken Kiev. How's that? I make a really good chicken Kiev.
Oh, chicken Kiev. Oh, that sounds delicious right now. Good thing we ate lunch already, or I'd be starving. I'd be running over. I do love chicken Kiev.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's easy to
so
make.
right. Well, we're coming closer to the end of the show. So I just
Okay.
normally I have some questions. I want to check to see who we have, if we have any in our. For some reason, my comments don't happen to be working. So I don't know what is going on. So normally I pick a question and I put it up here. Cha cha cha. Because I had my stuff today. Okay.
I'd be surprised if somebody didn't ask me, "You're a Volvo dealer. Why do you have all Fords for classic cars?"
Because they're hot cars.
Yeah.
That's a good question though. All right. So what do you think is the most exciting automotive innovation that you've seen recently?
I've seen recently.
Yeah.
Probably Bliss, blind spot information systems,
Yeah.
because it's for one simple invention, it's saved a lot of accidents and a lot of mishaps. It really has.
Yeah. Blind spot information. I think that's a good one too. I always get the beep, like
Yep.
beep, beep. And
That
I'm like,
has.
yeah. And I'm thankful because, I am paying attention. I'm a very alert driver. Most of my family is scared to drive with me though. Uh, but I am very thankful to that. Like, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's my car telling me what to do. Okay. So if you have any final thoughts that you want to, just help our audience, just maybe give some your best advice to those out there that are running the show, or how you're doing things, or want to get to the next level or success and things like that.
Well, I think it's pretty, for me and for us, treat your customers and your employees like you would expect to be treated yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really all you have to do. I mean, don't be overbearing and don't expect too much, but just treat them with respect. A lot of people expect a lot.
Absolutely, they really do.
Yeah,
And
be nice.
well, yeah, and sometimes, or have some compassion when somebody's having a really bad day.
Yep.
I think that's so important. My favorite things about this interview today, Rodger, was how close your family is. I think that is just so beautiful, and how you kind of go against the crowd when it comes to things that everybody else is doing. You kind of change it up a little bit and offer a unique solution in terms of like color and trim and things like that. I love that. I'll make sure to whiskey flavor. What's your whiskey flavor?
I have 200 whiskeys on my shelf, so I like them all.
It doesn't matter.
But believe it or not, my brother's son-in-law is the distiller for a liquor called Found North. It's in New York City. It's expensive. It's on the high end, but I'll tell you, it's delicious. So I would recommend everybody try it.
Well, listen, there's a lot of people out there collecting whiskeys right now. Like,
Exactly.
it is a huge thing.
Yep.
So, Found North, everybody. It's a New York whiskey company. Delicious. Little high end, but y'all can afford it. Sell one more car.
They have a rye, which is fantastic. It's probably one of the better ryes I've had.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Rodger, for your time. Lovering Otter Group, guys, New Hampshire, they rock. They've been the best people to us. We're so happy. Thank you so much for spending your time today. Next week, we have Dwight Palmer from Dorman Auto Group. He's been a friend of mine for a really long time. If you have any, ways that we can improve our show, please comment. Let us know. We are happy to have you. If you have a moment to share this with your network, Rodger has some really great advice that I think everybody could use and love. And we're so thankful to you, Rodger, for being a great partner in crime. And can't wait to have a glass of whiskey with you. And if you're ever out here in Detroit, definitely come and hit us up. And we'll do the same if we're in New Hampshire. Appreciate you so much. Have a good one, bud.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.